Welcome to the series of Angular web application from scratch. In this series, we will learn how to initiate an Angular project, how to add bootstrap styling, how to add component, make HTTP call, routing, etc. I will use Angular 60 throughout the course. You will need Node.js and npm install on your machine. So here is the list which need for the start creating project on in Angular. First we need to install Node. Here is the installation link. If I click on it, you can land to the page nodejs.org/en download, and here is the LTS long time support version you need to install, and according to your operating systems you can install. If you have the Windows machine, so you can choose the uh, 32-bit machine or the 64-bit machine. The MSI will be downloaded, and click on the MSI, you can download the Node.js. So if I go to my terminal and check my node version, I already have the node. So you can check the node version by node minus v. So if I show you, I have node version 18.17.0, and I have the npm installed, which have the version 9.8.1. Then you need to install Angular CLI globally. The command is, you can see the npm install minus g for the install this Angular CLI package globally. I already installed it, so I am not installing it. You have to run this command to install the Angular CLI. So after successfully install the Angular CLI, you can check the version by ng version command. So you can see it's the Angular CLI version 16 I have, and also here is the details of the node version and the npm version. Next, we will create a new Angular project from scratch. So the command is the ng new and the project name. It will scaffold the project, the Angular project. So I will go to the VS Code. In the VS Code, you can see we don't have anything, just the readme.md, whatever you send. And inside this directory, I will create the new Angular app. So I will run this command, ng new my demo. When creating a new Angular project using the Angular CLI ng new, you are prompted with a series of questions to set up the initial configuration. One of this prompt is related to adding Angular routing. So you can see you will have to add the Angular routing. If you want to include the Angular routing when generating a new Angular project using the Angular CLI, you can respond with Y. So it will set up the project with Angular's built-in routing setup in your project file. This allows you to create different views or pages and navigate between them using the Angular routing features. Next, we have the which style sheet format would you like to use. I will choose the CSS, standard CSS file without any preprocessor like SCSS. So I will press enter, and then it will create the initial structure of the Angular project. It will take some time. So you can see the package installed successfully. Now if I go inside the my demo project, you can see we have the node modules, src, and angular.json, package.json, readme tsconfig, app.json, tsconfig.json. Inside src we have the app and the asset, index.html, main.tss. So I will go next. I will go to the project structure. I will explain the project structure. Now, if you see the project structure inside my demo, there will have the E2E, the directive for the end-to-end test written to tools like the Protector. We will add this E2E directory later video. The node modules basically contains the project dependency installed via npm. Next, the main directive for your application source code is the src. This is where the majority of your code resides. Inside src, we have the app directory. This directory holds the components, service, models, modules, etc. The components folder for the Angular components contains the Angular components like the home, about, contact, etc. Each component has HTML, TypeScript, and CSS or the SCSS files. Next, we have the services. The services hold Angular services responsible for business logic, data fetching, or the handling state. Next, we have the modules. Organize features modules. If the application becomes complex, each module can have its component, service, etc. The modules is for the data models or the interfaces if we want to keep. And we have next the app routing model.ts, Angular routing model. It defines the routing configuration that manages navigation within the app. Next, the app component.html, root components HTML template, and the app component TS is the root components TypeScript code, and the CSS root component styles, and the app module.ts. App module.ts, the root module that initialize and bootstrap the Angular application. Next, we have the asset. Assets directory contain the static files like images, fonts, etc. Next, we have the environments, default environments, configurations. Environment.ts is the default environment settings, and the environment prod.ts is the production environment. We have the index.html, the main HTML file that serves as the entry point for the Angular application. This file generally includes the app root tag where the Angular app is rendered. And we have the main.ts TypeScript entry file, and the polyfill.ts, polyfill for the support various browsers, and style.scss means style for the application. Angular.json file, the angular.json, this files actually the Angular CLI configuration file defining build configuration, asset paths, and other settings for the projects. Package.json contain the project dependencies and script. tsconfig.json, configuration file for the TypeScript compiler settings such as the paths, compiler options, etc. tslint.json, configuration for the tslint code analysis and readme information about the project, and .editor config, configure a consistent coding style, and the .getignore specify files for the get to ignore. Next, I will go to the project, and you can see we have all those files I just explained. tsconfig.json, angular.json, app module.ts, app routing. Now I will launch the app in the default browser by the command ng-sharp -open. First, I have to change the directory. MyDomain is our project directory, and run the command. It will build the project and automatically open the application in a default browser at 4200 port. So it's compiled successfully, and it's rendering like this. So here is the scaffolding. Here is some link is there, and here the command to generate the component. And if I exit the full screen, and you can see it's hosted on the local host and the port 4200. Okay, that's all for this video. In the next video, we will see how we can add bootstrap styling in the project, and we will add the login form with the login route. This will be the localhost 4200/login. So if you like the video, please hit the like button, and please share the video, and please do subscribe to my channel. Okay, thank you.